Hi, this is Brian here from Enlightenspeed. Thanks for joining us once again. We're coming at you with our next tutorial video for MeloDramatik, and we're going to be doing basically 3 short videos that aim to give an idea of workflow. So as you can see, we're starting with an empty rack. I'm going to start with Polystep. I'm just going to use the default patch because it gives a decent amount of MIDI generation that MeloDramatik can then go ahead and work with. Just take a quick listen here. You probably heard that one before. So I'm going to change the instruments, get something a wee bit more adventurous going, and dive into the world of VST. I've got Massive X here from Native Instruments. Just find a decent patch. Okay, so not that one, that's sounding very just kind of sawtoothy really. A bit on the harsh side. Let's just have a wee listen to some of these. So that's the basic setup. Just going to go ahead and drag MeloDramatik into the path so that everything that comes out of Polystep goes through MeloDramatik and then into Massive X. Now the purpose of this particular video is getting variations on one simple groove. We've got our one simple groove in Polystep. Just going to change it to 1112 for the auto switch. Now if we switch it on right now, we'll get full on melodic inversion. Sounds very nice, but it's very different to the original. So the first thing that we want to do, if we want to retain a lot of the original, then we need to use our pass mode here. So to use the pass mode, first of all, we switch on the pass group, and then each of these, when we switch them on in our timeline, when the playhead here reaches that particular step, then the original notes that are going through will just go straight through without being touched by the algorithm. However, they can still be filtered and they can still be scaled here as well. So let's just switch them all on first of all. I'm going to use the draw x-axis. We'll switch all of them on. And we've got our original kalimba. I think we're actually slightly off though because that's a different scale. That's C major. That's C minor. So if we put this into minor, press play again. That's our original. So back to our sequencer here. And if we just want variation, say, on the second half of the bar, just switch off the pass for all of the second half. We'll hit play. And immediately you can hear that's very different. So the milder the variation that we want, the more pass that we use, basically. Make that slightly different there. So we can hear it as a very mild change to that one, but it's not necessarily any less repetitive than the original. So what bits do we want to randomize in order to generate a series of really useful variations? Well, the obvious ones, you want to be able to randomize the steps themselves and the algorithms themselves. Once you've got a pattern for the passes, just leave them as is and leave pretty much everything else off. So we've got the steps, we have the channels there on. Going to switch off the key, switch off the scale. Going to leave the spreads on, but we're going to bring them down a bit. The default to full width, which is actually pretty wide. You have 4 octaves of bandwidth if they're at full width. -6 to +6 just leaves it as 1 octave. So back to the sequencer. And you can see that it's pretty easy to build up a decent bank's worth of variations there. We're already on to pattern 5 here. Again, the only bits that are making any difference are the sections where the pass has been left off. So those are the only steps that are open to any change, basically. So our first 4 patterns are very mild variations. So just to push things a little bit further for the final 4 patterns, we'll open up a couple more pass steps. Da 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 da. Let's have a wee listen. So again, you hear more variations on the same theme, but with these versions, we've got more of the pass left off, and thus they're further removed from the original. So from this point, that's pretty much job done. If you want to go any further, then what to do is to remote your filters, and mess around with them in real time, and do that while you're changing the patterns, of course. So let's just quickly jam through this. And there you go. If you're recording that into direct record while you're jamming, then you very quickly have a full piece built up. And of course, all of that comes from just one pattern, in this case taken from Polish Step. But of course, it can just be any other MIDI that you have. It can be something that's in sequences or compulsion. It can be something that's from the main sequencer. It can be something that's from a MIDI file. But that's just effectively one bar out of Polish Steps given us that. Anyway, that's us for this video. Of course, we're just showing basic variations here. The next video, we'll be showing you how to go from a basic variation to a complete rework. But in the meantime, thanks for tuning in, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.